This is Morten from English TV. I have the pleasure of being here at drupa second day in Düsseldorf, and I am with my, I would say, first virtual friend, but becoming real friends, Montserrat Peidro. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you in person.
Finally, right?
Finally, it took us 5 years, people, 5 years to actually shake hands.
And your background is quite impressive because you know a lot about digital, you know a lot about analog, you also know a lot about management, and now you are the member of the Bobst board, right?
Right.
How excited is it to work with a company like this on that level?
It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. And it's like I have a feeling all my life I've been preparing myself in the longest possible MBA and Master's Bachelor to be in the board of Bobst. This is actually this is a pleasure to be able to contribute with all my background and my knowledge and my experience and all the years, over 20 years experience in the graphic arts industry. So I am very honored to be part of the board of Bobst.
And I mean, if you look at your LinkedIn profile, I mean, your career is just like endless progressing career-wise. I mean, I don't know if it's been like a dream from the beginning. I think that sometimes it's like a career objective in itself, and sometimes it's just because you always deliver and gets forward, right?
Yeah, so I get to give a lot of leadership talks, and that makes you reflect about career and leadership. And what's true is that no career can be planned. And you can have dreams and you can have ambitions.
You always have to deliver before you get to the next level.
Exactly. There are always three things. Do the best job ever. And a manager at HP taught me that. Do your best job ever. Another manager told me, do it and then make sure people know about it. And then the third is always be humble and willing to be generous and contribute.
I have not known you so much in details, but I think that I can tick all 3 boxes with you, right?
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, definitely. Montserrat, there was a person once in the media industry that said to me, always just deliver for the lowest denominator. And I'm totally against that.
Totally against that. We have to drive for excellence, nothing less than excellence. Because if you shoot for the moon, you will get to the Everest. But if you shoot for the Everest, you will end up in a rolling hill in UK, you know?
So happy that we're on the same page. We are, when I sent you an invite for being like one of our celebrities talking about great innovations from drupa, you said yes even before you came to drupa, of course, right? And of course we started Bobst because you're working with Bobst. We're going to see a few other exhibitors as well, but let's start with Bobst. We are here, you took us directly to Bobst Connect.
Yes, and let me explain why. When I was looking in this drupa, were innovations around 3 areas. Productivity and automation, like what can we do at workflow level that makes us more efficient. This is a constant in the history of graphic arts, but more and more we need to aim for that going to the next level. Second, obviously sustainability, and if possible making a business out of sustainability, not just sustainability for the sake of it. And then the third is everything that has to do with people, how to make sure that the operator has an easy life, the plant manager has an easy life, the product manager of all these vendors and all these manufacturers have an easy life meeting with customers. These were the 3 things that I was looking for, and obviously some must-have. Like the ones we'll see in
I mean,
moments.
we are at drupa, so some kind of wow effect is also okay, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because, I mean, if you look at a huge booth like this here at drupa, I think that if we came back here like 20 or 25 years ago, it will be machines, right? But now it's like business, it's software. You have like the digital wonders of
technology and workflow. Why? Because technology is almost a given.
Yeah.
If you look around, you look at the specs, they are very you can compare them. It's okay, 1 picolita more, 1 paper per.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Specs are. It's been years that specs are not a differentiator. The differentiator comes from what else can you bring me, right? And in the case of Bobst Connect, what it brings you is all of the 3 things that I mentioned before: productivity, sustainability, and easiness for the workforce.
And I mean, when we just before we turn on the camera, your colleague showed a little bit about what we're going to talk about here, because basically Bobst Connect, now with all machines delivered by Bobst, it is already out of the box connected via IoT to Bobst Connect, basically, right?
Right.
And what we see here is basically an overview of all the machines that are like put in. We will see that in a second in the background, right?
Exactly.
But basically, this software gives that overview. You talk about the OEE, the sustainability, energy consumption, pressure on the machines, and all those kind of things.
And that is. You know, everybody tracks OEE. A lot of people have connected machines. Everybody tracks some sort of downtime. But look, if we look at the dashboard.
I mean, what I like right here is basically now it shows actually there is a simulated error on the expert fault. Now it goes into green, right?
Yes.
So you get like an instant, let's say, view of the status of a machine.
Instant feedback. So imagine the operator, the plant manager, all of them have real-time data on what is going on, and they can go quickly to fix it. So apart from that, look at this energy consumption. I am able to look at what energy is being consumed per machine, per job, per hour even.
Yeah, because I mean, you can see here you have like the timely thing here, and you have like is that like the dates?
Hour.
Yeah, and you have the dates here.
Yes, yes.
So you have also here it says used to run, used to dry, used to compressed air. So you get like a total overview of your energy consumption of each machine.
CO2 emissions, which are very important for the upcoming regulations, and also the energy cost, because when at the end of the day we have to calculate the total cost of ownership. Some people forget about energy cost and they do like an average of averages. You don't need to. Now you can really price your jobs based on the actual consumption that you have.
And what I like about this one also, I mean, the energy cost, I mean, I guess of course you need to have some kind of connection or data from your energy supplier.
Yes.
But basically that is also something that becomes more and more, let's say, with the IoT and connectivity and APIs and all the, you know, all the buzzwords of the world, makes it easier and easier to connect from different sources of data, right? So you get a quite accurate view of your technology status here, right?
And then imagine if what I like about Bobst is that they are the opposite of superficial. They really go into detail. So if they see, okay, what can we do in the machines to reduce cost? So they have been using 3D printing technology to design circuits for the air to be more efficient and to use less energy.
Amazing,
and that is
right?
embedded into each machine.
So
they really go deep.
So one thing is that the owner of the equipment in his or her operation can see the energy consumption. But because it's connected to your huge data warehouse, basically Bobst is also capable of saying that, okay, on metadata status level, we can see that if we
benchmark.
or we can change things in the machines in order to make it even more productive and more efficient, right? That must be amazing, right?
This is really good.
I mean, I guess that also requires a certain size, and that is also why you can say that, okay, in drupa you see Chinese suppliers of machines that looks like Bobst, right? But but maybe this is example where you excel, because you're basically taking the next level of what is needed and required, also from a legislative perspective, right?
Exactly. And also the fact that it is a Europe-based company makes them very sensitive about all these CO2 emissions regulations and the SBTI's regulations that in every company now are a must. And even some of the big brands are making mandatory for you to be a provider, like the Apples of the world, the Coca-Colas of the world. You have to have a certain SBTI rate. So going on that,
this is like OEE thing, but of course you can do more with it, right?
Exactly. OEE is just what we saw at the beginning as part of.
And just to put it back here, that was the. So you have the OEE here basically on the machine, so you can easily also, let's say from a financial perspective, see your financial, to balance basically.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. And then you had like a different thing. What's that on the products?
Yes. So what we have is in workflow. We have every machine having all the jobs that have been produced there. And here we have a job recipe. Because all the machines are connected. The job is already providing all the setting of all the machines end to end.
So for me to understand, that could say that you print on one machine, you convert on another machine, you embellish on a third machine, but the recipe is basically put into one.
The job is always the same, and the recipe is telling every machine how to set itself up so that it is easier for the operator and it optimizes.
Do you think that you and I could figure out to do this? No, probably not, right?
I think you need like a lot of Swiss people here and technicians.
And I'm Danish and you're Spanish, right? So
Yes.
we just talk about it for now at least, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Then we have also this tool link, which is
That is super nice because that basically gives you an image of the tools that you use for a job, right?
That's right. And for example, this guy is having an issue. So
Very terrible issue actually, right?
I love the icon they
Yeah,
decided
yeah.
to put in here.
And you have a job here with one of these terrible on B0121.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you come in here, you see something happened.
So here you have cutting force from 0 sheet impressions to 540,000. And then you have an issue here basically, right?
Exactly. There is an overload in the cutting force.
Okay.
That helps to maintain preventively potential issues. So you are just like in a NASA dashboard. As an operator, you're closer.
Can I be a little bit provocative here? If you want to be NASA, you need to have much bigger screens.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know how it is. That is super nice. And then, in order to show people what we're talking about here, you have simply made a virtual printing company, right?
That's
Or
right.
converter, right?
Imagine some of the big customers, they all work on all different segments, all the verticals and all the applications. So as a customer, you can see yourself working only in labels, or if you are one of these huge multi-millionaire global companies, you have sites for each of them, or even in one site you have a couple of them. That is to display that even if you are, doesn't matter how complex or how easy and simple your production is, you can take advantage of the Print Connect, the job recipes, and the sustainability metrics. And it doesn't matter how your floor looks like.
Maybe you don't know the answer to my next question. I was just wondering, because I mean, if you come into converter today, I mean, obviously you want them to have Bobst all the way through, but that is rarely the situation. Often they have different vendors. So with Bobst Connect, can you connect also to non-Bobst machines, or?
That's possible as well, because at the end of the day, that is the reality of our production.
Yeah. And I guess that if you can get them into the Bobst Connect ecosystem, basically you will also learn about, I wouldn't say that you learn about competitor systems, but at least you learn how they interoperate with Bobst equipment, make it even better, right?
Probably, but it is very limited what you can learn about the machine, because all the firmware of the machine that you need to access to really understand how it works is not accessible.
Okay.
But what you can allow is connectivity. Now, the connectivity will not be 100% as smooth.
Yeah.
Probably we will not be able to tell you about an overloading force because we don't have sensors inside the machine.
But I was just wondering, because I mean, does that mean that in the future you see that software like Bobst Connect becomes a very important KPI to invest in Bobst hardware?
I am convinced.
Yeah.
Yes, I am convinced, because once you taste it, it is very difficult to get out of it.
I hear about that kind of structures in other businesses that are from Latin America. Is that no, I'm just joking. No, I'm just joking. I mean, it's like every time we buy something, it's like if you come into an ecosystem and we can see the values of it, of course it makes a lot of sense.
Look
And I
at
take that as
Apple.
why. Yeah,
Look
precisely.
at Apple.
Yeah,
If you're an Apple person,
I am. Totally.
so
Are you?
I am.
Of course.
I can't live without it. And sometimes, some days, I get mad at Apple, but I am in.
Yeah.
And then they always make it worth it.
Yeah.
Because a bad day might come a very good year. And so it's very good to have this seamless integration, this very, very in-depth integration where you can actually control your printing floor as if you were really managing like a rocket ship.
Fantastic. We're going to Landa now, right?
Let's go.
Why are you picking Landa as the next one?
It's drupa.
It's true, but we need to visit.
We need to see Benny.
Okay. Let's do like this and then we go. And now we're here at Landa. I mean, amazing, right?
Magic.
Yeah. I mean, wonderful booth, right?
Yes.
It's funny because different from the Bobst booth. They have more like a dark theme here, right?
Yes.
What do you like about this, or you like it, or?
What I like about Landa is that it's a must visit. You know, when you do tourism, there are always the certain monuments that you can't miss in a given city. Landa and in general Benny show is something you cannot miss.
And you said that you saw a show with him where he was like an energy bunch, right?
Oh my God, this man, I mean, respect.
Yeah.
He is over 70. He's unburnable.
Yeah.
He has the same energy as day number one. He is galvanizing people around his ideas. It's just unbelievable. And in here we see some of the nanographic versus offset samples. Landa and any adventure of Benny are very good at sample picking to make a point, yes?
I would also say that, I mean, of course you can always argue that when you come to a trade show and you see something that is well prepared, does that reflect the reality of a printing company, right? But I think that it gives you, I mean, if you can deliver the highest quality, then you can probably also deliver something that is not as good, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, when you picked Landa as part of our tour, because they have the new S11 and S11P,
Right.
which are, I mean, they are fantastic machines, but essentially iterations of the S10 that has been in the market for some years now, right?
Correct. It's what in the jargon is called a midlife kicker.
Yeah.
It's something that you build on an existing platform, and what you do is you fix bugs, improve certain things based on customers' feedback, and also try to bring up your specs to the level that the new industry is pushing you to do. Yes.
I mean, I have always, when I remember in 2016 when Landa was presenting nanography, I was like, okay, the diagnose was 1000% correct, but maybe it was a little bit too early, and then it has kick-started the market because now not everybody, but a lot of vendors are now producing really high quality. Yourself was also in 2016 involved with the Prime Fire, right?
Correct.
And that was the same print heads, and you know how difficult the technology actually is, right?
It is very difficult. Even if you are a inkjet expert, like Benny has been all his life, and a printing expert, as Heidelberg has been all its life and still is for many, many years, the integration of this ecosystem of hardware with everything that the hardware means of imposition, moving the paper from left to right, and so on. The ink itself, with all the primers, the coatings, all the chemistry around it, plus the substrates and the print heads. This ecosystem of 4 elements, it's very difficult to nail. So it is impressive to see how quality gets improved day after day after day, but quality without productivity is nothing.
Yeah.
And that is why all the developments that we have seen lately is just trying to keep that quality at the speed that Landa claims to have with the S11P, or all the rest of the hardware vendors that are pushing their boundaries.
One of the things that we spoke about, and now it's actually a good lead into it, because if it wasn't because the Fujifilm was so far away, we would have gone there. And talking about Fujifilm, this is the Stamper print heads. You also use the Stamper print heads in Prime Fire. But the reason why you wanted to go and see the Fujifilm booth was because some new development in the ink side, right?
Yes, they are launching in drupa 2024 a new water-based ink. That for me, and I am going to spend hours later. Unfortunately, they are in Hall 8, and it's a bit remote, but you know, normally Fuji is a technology source. They did it with the print heads, they've done it with the primer and coating, they even done it with some consumables that you need to run the machines. I think ink could be the next. They are actually outsourcing the ink as well. So with these new water-based ink that they are introducing, I think quality could meet the TCO that you need in certain parts of the packaging.
So Montserrat, it's been wonderful seeing all these beautiful samples, and I think it was also great that you just mentioned the new inks from Fujifilm. But now we're going to Heidelberg. And first I was like, why are we going to Heidelberg? And then I was like, okay, That's your old place of work.
Yes.
But what are we going to see that is interesting there?
We're going to see something that I consider a revolution, which is Heidelberg partnering with Canon.
That's a very good one. So should we do the travel?
Let's do.
See, now we are at Heidelberg booth, right?
Yes, I love these transportation methods.
I mean, for people that has not seen, because the camera was turned off, you have so many friends here, right?
Yes, yes.
Good memories?
Good, very good memories, very good teams, very good people quality. They are years that I will always have in my heart.
Fantastic. Montserrat, we are going to talk about an announcement just a few days old.
Yes.
Because that was something that was really also interesting for you personally, right?
Yes.
This is, of course, the situation where Canon and Heidelberg announced a collaboration on the digital inkjet front.
Correct.
Was that a surprise to you?
It was not a surprise to me, but it was a surprise that a working machine would be here on the floor. When I worked at Heidelberg, I was managing, I was BU head of the digital business. And to see the digital press being center of the press release, of the innovation in this company, it's really, really dear to me. Also, in my HP times, the relationship with Canon, I've always thought of Canon as a very good company to partner with. They are, okay, they're Japanese, and that makes things always a bit complicated.
You forget something here which is important.
What?
This one is made in the Netherlands.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But Canon, exactly. Canon has a lot of footprint in Europe.
That's true.
So the people that I have been doing business with from Canon have always been Europeans, and they are very good professionals and very good technologists. So for me, it's just very natural. Also knowing people working in both companies, it was natural that these two companies were coming together. But that a working machine would be on the floor of drupa 2024, that is amazing. And this is the Jetfire 50. For what we have told, this is the B3 size digital inkjet digital machine.
It is a Canon IX3200 that is packed as a Heidelberg machine, and with more than 600 installations worldwide in the Canon. I actually asked Canon, so do you still think there's growth potential in the collaboration with Heidelberg? And they were like, yes.
Of course, of course. Bear in mind that Canon only has access to a certain part of the market, which is complementary to the one that Heidelberg has. The potential is huge. And imagine when next year we will have the 75 B2 size.
Yes. And more than 8,000 sheets per hour.
That's right. Talking about performance, like we were saying before at Landa, right?
And you know, we have to show something, because one of the things that is quite important is David Schmedding has been in sales forever, and now he's a member of the board of directors here, right? And what was very important for him, that actually the first Jetfire has been sold, right? So a very, very happy David Schmedding, because he's basically standing together with his customer from Schellenberg Gruppe. And they acquired the first Heidelberg branded, and the first evidence of a collaboration between. So at least we have like one more machine in the market that is part of the as an outcome from this collaboration, right?
That's right. And another proof point that Heidelberg is putting the best of both worlds, analog and digital, together with their amazing go-to-market, their outstanding service levels, and the love that people have for the brand.
And I think maybe also important, when we started this journey an hour ago, we started with Bobst Connect. This is also now being integrated to the Prenect workflow. So that also means that this is very complementary when you're having an offset press and you want to go into a digital press, right?
That's
so this is like super interesting.
So as you can see right now, the machine is not looking like what the machine would look like. It will very much have the look and feel of a Heidelberg machine. Right now it's a prototype, as you can see, and it's been covered just to prevent it.
I think it makes sense that it doesn't have all this marketing bluff when you come out to a customer, right?
No, it won't.
we want to have something that looks like a Heidelberg printing press, right?
Look like a Speed Master. It would look amazing, I am sure.
What do you think of the name, Jetfire?
Well, reminds me of Prime Fire, just smaller.
You had to say that, of course, right?
I had to say
Yeah,
that.
well, you know, it's been a wonderful hour and getting to know you a little bit, and thank you very much for sharing your insights from drupa. So should we do the last snap?
Of course, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me here.
It was so fun. Thank you very much. Okay, let's do it.